Hi, this is Barry Schwartz. I'm the Search Engine Roundtable. This is a Search Buzz video recap. Today is Friday, March 11th. I just got off a plane literally like an hour ago. I'm working off of an hour and a half of airplane sleep, so excuse me if I'm a little bit groggy while doing this. Anyway, this is the search news we covered over at the Search Roundtable at seroundtable.com. First topic, which is what I've been talking about for the past couple weeks, is the Farmer Panda update. Google finally came out and said specifically what you should do if you think you were hit by the Panda update. The thing you should do is remove that low quality content. Google specifically advises to just make sure Google doesn't see it. Either move it to a separate domain, no index it, completely delete it, and then once all that stuff is deleted, then possibly Google will go ahead and update your site automatically, algorithmically, because it's an algorithmic update, so you don't have to actually submit a re-inclusion request. All you got to do is update your content, and then Google will automatically, after the next couple crawls, will automatically re-include and re-rank your site really highly. Obviously, your site's probably included, but it'll actually start to re-include your site. Speaking of the Panda Farmer update, and I'm sorry for people watching live, I can't get the chat room to work, so if you have questions, just tweet it to me at RustyBrick, and I'll incorporate your questions via Twitter. So just at RustyBrick your question to me. Talking about the Panda Farmer update, we ran a poll a couple days after they actually hit and asking SEOs did it actually have an impact on their website, and we have over 300 responses right now. We give you the breakdown. 40% said it had a negative impact on their website. 25% said it had no impact. 18% said it had actually a positive impact on them. 14% said they don't know yet. That's probably people in the UK and where it didn't roll out yet. And a little small percentage gave some other answers, mostly saying it did impact them. So if you were impacted by this, you're part of a large group of people, at least, and people reading our site. So definitely take a look at that. We also gave some more advice on what do you do if you're hit. Obviously, Google's advice is probably more golden than ours, but the advice we gave back then was to remove the low-quality content and let Google re-index you. And there's some more information about it. Also, Vanessa Fox had a nice piece at Search Engine Land, so you definitely want to take a look at that as well. That's on March 7th. We did our large Google Webmaster Report where we recap all the Google topics we discussed over the past month. Obviously, this past month was pretty much dominated by the Farmer Panda update, and you get our recap, tons and tons of links about the Farmer update on March 9th at seroundtable.com. That being said, there are other things that happened this month, and some major things. First of all, the big brand penalties, the link penalties for JCPenney, for Overstock, for Forbes, those three big brands, and now, just recently, Hugo Boss, they were all penalized on Google for link building, for link buying, and those are major things that happened this month that were overshadowed pretty much by this Farmer update, at least in the SEO world. There were some major user interface releases in the past month. The social search more integrated into the search results we discussed in the past, recipe view, which we discussed in the past, and the new navigation bar that was rolling out that you probably should see today. That's been rolling out as well. And then we covered several SEO topics related to Google, specifically the Chrome extension, that allowing Google first coming out and saying we're actually going to use this as a ranking signal on some level. The Google panel, we'll discuss more about that a little bit later. The penalties, how Google handles manual versus algorithmic penalties, and a lot more stuff that's going on. So if you do want to catch up in a quick glance of what happened over the past month with Google, in the Webmaster SEO perspective, March 9th at seroundtable.com. Definitely recommend that. Talking about the Chrome extension, so Google released this Chrome extension that allows people to block sites that they don't want to show up in Google results. That they used to validate the Farmer update, saying that there was an 85% overlap of people blocking sites, and the 12% of the queries that were hit by the Farmer update were validated by those 85% of blocks. But so today or yesterday, they actually announced that you no longer need the Chrome extension. Now, if you go to Google, do a search, click on a result, and then go back to the search results, it would actually give you the option to block it next to the cache link. When you click the block, it adds it to your block list. It will block the results from showing up in the Google search results. And then it would actually show you saying you actually blocked results on this page from, let's say you block Wikipedia, if you do a search and Wikipedia results would show up, would actually say 2 of the results, 3 of the results on this page have been blocked. Do you want to see them or not? You could show them, or you can manage your block list, and it's pretty neat. You don't have to actually use the Chrome extension. Obviously, this is nothing new. Google did this with SearchWiki in 2009, and even in 2005, in personalized search, Google had a way to block and remove results. But Google finally brought it back. The main thing here is Google's admitting that they are going to use it as a ranking signal. The question is how deeply, and I think they'll probably just use it as a way to get data from searchers, look at that, and see how to make an algorithm around it. Not necessarily to block individual sites, but to kind of see what searchers don't like, and then on a mass scale and algorithmically to design algorithms to actually update that. Again, if you're watching live and you have questions, just go ahead and tweet at me at RustyBrick. We covered a topic on crafting Google Instant Search suggestions. So, you do a search for something, a company name, and then automatically Google suggests company name sucks. There are ways to manipulate those results, and we discussed various methods. One is to just do brute force queries, having people all over the world searching for a company's is best type of query or whatever it might be. Another way is to make sure that whatever you're searching for at brute force actually is backed up by content on the web, on Twitter or whatever, that actually goes ahead and backs off what you're trying to manipulate. It was fun because there was actually, we covered a session this week at XMX about instant manipulation, and we have some links to that and how Google and Avi Walensky were fighting back and forth about is it really gameable or not. So you probably want to take a look at that as well. Interestingly, Googlebot was spotted as crawling from China, not from the. Usually, when Googlebot crawls your website, it's always crawling from California, from Mountain View, from their headquarters. And whenever Google says, when you treat Googlebot as you would treat a user crawling from California, from the U.S. But somebody called Googlebot crawling from China. Google admitted to it, said it was some type of bug, and they fixed it. I found that pretty interesting. I don't know if there's more to look into that, but if you are into crawlers and stuff like that, there is. Google has also been testing site links with descriptions under them. I got a screenshot from a Japanese reader, and I'll bump it up so you can see it. You can see over here on my screen pretty much a site link in Japanese with descriptions directly under the site links. So I found that pretty interesting as well. And I couldn't replicate it myself, but it's definitely there and definitely screen captured. Another SEO related topic, when to use the colloquial tag for pagination. So you have a paginated result of, let's say, a set of pots. So you have pots and you have 100 of pots, and you break those 100 pots, 10 per page, over 10 pages. The question is, how do you tell Google, do you use colloquial tag to point pages 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to page 1? The answer is no, you do not do that, because page 1's results aren't the same on page 2. Google only says you should do that when you have a view all page maybe, or when the page 2 and page 1 that you're colloquialing are very, very, very similar. If they are somewhat different at all, then Google does not recommend using that, and a lot of SEOs don't look at it that way. So definitely take a look at that. We have posted that on March 10th at SEOroundtable.com. Again, I apologize for not being so clear. Again, an hour and a half flight. An hour and a half sleep on a plane or red eye. Anyway, AdCenter announced this week, AdCenter announced this week that they're adding quality score. It's actually going to be very, very Google-like. They're going to have a 1 to 10 scale. They're going to break it down by landing metrics, by things like page relevance, like keyword relevance, and different things like Google does. And it's going to be more transparent for users, because they always had a quality score. But in 2009 they had a quality score. In 2007 they discussed quality things. But now they're actually going to go ahead and break it out for Microsoft advertisers to see what their quality score and why they might be suffering, and why their ads might not be ranking so well. So I find that interesting. Not exactly sure when it's being released, but they talked about it as coming. Like I said, came off a flight. It was XMX this week, Search Marketing Expo. We covered, it looks like about 25, 30 sessions or so. I'd like to thank all the live blog volunteers, Carrie Morgan, Strike Models, Brian, who goes under BEUSSERY on Twitter, Deborah Malister from Alliance Link, Marty Weinberg from Aim Clear, Avi Walensky from Pro Media Corp, for all volunteering and doing the hard task of live blogging and bringing the XMX show to you guys. Again, we cover a lot of sessions. If you want to recap them, they're in live blog format on March 11th. We have links to them all, so definitely take a look at that if you weren't able to be there. There were some really great sessions, such as the Google Instant one, Content Farm session. I personally like the technical ones with Vanessa Fox, the Spam Police, the Ask SEOs, the Ask the search engines. So a lot of good sessions there. You might want to take a look at that. Finally, let's bring up some logos for you. Google Germany had a Mouse TV logo. It was pretty cute. And there was a Will Eisner logo on Google as well for his 94th birthday. He died at the age of 87. He was the person really responsible for bringing out comic book type of material to the public. Anyway, that was a cute logo as well, and hope you enjoyed it. Anyway, thanks so much for listening. Again, I apologize, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. That was this past week's news from the Search Engine Roundtable at SEOroundtable.com. Today is March 11th, Friday. Everyone have a great weekend, and see you guys next week. Bye.